Guess who showed up?
I found him. He was out in the hall.
Yeah, I had a really busy day, and we had a medical assistant call in sick, so that left me with 2 people to see a full load. So Craig was telling me that before I got here, he was saying that I was celebrating since the election, and that's pretty much true.
And I'm right.
Yeah, that was pretty much true. And he said that they were calling and asking about the legalization of marijuana. I know that's kind of a hot topic, but I've been signing a lot of marijuana cards and I thought I wouldn't sign any this week, but I signed a lot, and I don't know when the law goes into effect, and I don't really know that much about the differences between the medical marijuana and the recreational marijuana. Someone said that there will be different levels of THC, or there'll be different things, and to be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know what that means, but I do know that there are unintended consequences as a result of that, and I guess people look at it from a revenue source. I do believe in the decriminalization of it.
Yes.
Okay, I think that is the very good thing, and I think that, you know, I like the libertarian thing. You know, if it doesn't break my bone or pick my pocket, then it's okay. So if you want to grow marijuana and you want to use marijuana and you want to enjoy that in your home and your abode, and you don't want to influence anybody else, you should have the right to do that. On the other hand, when you get loaded and you go in your car and you mix it with alcohol, or you do something else and you hurt somebody, that's a problem. That's a problem for society. Chuck is on the phone. Chuck.
Hey, Chuck.
Hey, Doc, rumor has it you've been calling the transition team lobbying for Surgeon General job. Is that true?
What's that?
Yeah, I guarantee you, if he got the job, Chuck, he would be late for it.
Yeah, Trump would be trying to do the Ed McMahon thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I would be late. There's no doubt about it. No, I
think Ben Carson might be in front of you, though.
Yeah, and you know, I told somebody the other day, I said, this was my plan to deal with healthcare, indigent healthcare. And it really made a lot of sense. This is basically what we would do, is if you're truly indigent, you're at the local welfare office, you get a card, not a Medicaid card, but you just get a truly indigent card. And that card you give to the doctor. The doctor at that point will bill the IRS for the visit, okay? And the IRS will issue you a tax credit for half of the retail cost of that visit.
That's a good idea.
Okay? And so you'll see 2 people in the indigent level for every 1 person that you put in cash, okay? So, and that way, if you want to get health insurance, you get health insurance. But if you really can't afford it and you're truly indigent, you can go see a doctor. And the same would be true for a hospital. I mean, you'd have for-profit and non-profit, but everybody at the end of the day still pays taxes. So that's the way to take care of indigent people. The pharmacies could do the same thing. Everybody could do the same thing, but the requirements need to be strict. They can't be, oh, I own an LLC and I'm going to put my kids on there, and you know, and I'm going to go out and apply for indigent care. That bullshit doesn't work. Excuse my French. But I mean, it is.
Welcome back.
Yeah, but you know, if you're truly indigent, and you really, you know, then that would solve a lot of the cost of healthcare, and the government would not have to exchange any money. They wouldn't have to pay any money. There would be no accounting, other than the fact that we get a tax credit.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Hey, Doc, real quick, Tom Gibson and I are going to be talking about the legal aspects of marijuana tomorrow night.
Okay.
Same time slot. So
And
tune in.
What do you think about it?
Well, I think nothing's going to happen for a good year till 2017 at least.
Really?
Oh yeah, they're going to milk it dry up in Reno, Carson City. I'm sure, you know, that it's a money thing for them. And I just hope this draining of the swamp that Trump's promised comes into Nye County and Nevada. Because we got a stinky swamp.
Yeah, no, that's true, and I don't know how that It's pretty entrenched here, but I don't know. I would relish in the fact that our government in Washington sets the example, and then everything else flows from there. But even in the state level, there's a lot of corruption in these tax laws and all the stuff that they're doing. So they just find a way to keep taxing and spend more money, or they tax more and then figure out a way to back it up with more taxes. I wasn't in favor of vote on number 1. I thought that was a bad move, another step to gun registration.
Well, you know how that passed. You look at Clark County, and Clark County is a suburb of Orange County.
True.
So, I mean, you know, if you look at the state, it was just Clark County.
Yeah.
I mean, it passed overwhelmingly.
Yeah,
everywhere else.
absolutely. And the whole voting went Democratic because of Las Vegas.
Well, if you looked at the whole city, I mean, if you looked at all the blue counties, they were all around a major metropolitan area, and therein lies a lot of the issue. But what are you going to do? That's just. I hope we get a decent Supreme Court justice, maybe 1 or 2, and that would be enough to set the stage for the next 20 years. I heard Ginsburg said she was going to move, and I offered to go help her pack her bags. I definitely would help pack her bags, and I'll help even pay for the plane ticket wherever she wants to go. I don't really care. You know, she's probably a decent legal mind, but anybody that said they were going to leave the country
should go.
Yeah, I mean, goodbye, good riddance. We'll certainly help you pack your bags. And you know, my daughter, who's went to school in California, OMG, the texting I got from her from after Trump was winning the election, it's so many explicitives I couldn't even put it on the TV screen. She wanted to leave the country, and
is she one of those kinder, gentler Democrats?
Well, she went to school in California, and I think it's like a virus over there. I think if you live there, you know, are there any? I think there are Republican areas in California. Where are they?
Orange County. Orange County probably is one of the bigger Republican counties in California, but it's a very, very liberal state. You tell me how Governor Brown got reelected again.
Oh, God.
You know, I mean.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. It's just it's going to come down to, I think Trump's got a big job ahead of him. I'm glad he can at least do something and possibly be another Reagan, you know, as far as showing the country that it's better not to have a politician in there that's not entrenched, and let's hope that sets the stage for everything. So we'll see. I think it'll be good for Obamacare to go away. I think that's a really bad thing, and I think for people to see, you know, there's got to be some competition in the market, and insurance companies, that was the part that I could never figure out, is why they wouldn't make the insurance companies stay in those areas. Because if more insurance companies were forced to stay in the market, then that means that prices would come down.
I really believe it's because they wanted it to go government.
You're right. They wanted it to fail. They wanted
it to go government controlled.
Right. And if the private system failed and if the wheels came off, and that's probably the other part that they were hoping that Hillary would get in, because she could make it fail, and by making it fail, she could institute something, because it rumored that she was going to do something of the Canadian system, socialized government. And it's rumored that Hillary hates doctors anyway. So, but that's part of what she tried to do in that. But that's good. So we have a new caller.
Louis.
Is that Louis? Mistyped?
Yeah, that's me. That's
okay,
me,
Louis.
Doc.
What's going on, Lou?
Hey, gentlemen, how you doing tonight? Listen, I agree with you 100%, not only on the marijuana, but on the Trump, too. Thank God that Trump got elected.
Yeah.
But I got a question that's a little bit off a little bit. You know, as we get older, some of us get these varicose veins and stuff. And number one, how do we get them? And number two, how do we get rid of them? Okay, I mean, they're a pain. It's like, you know, what do we do to get rid of them? You know.
Well, Everybody develops them because of gravity, but some people are more prone to get them. What happens, unfortunately, the vein is a low pressure system and it has a valve, okay, that's supposed to close. So as you move your legs and flex your muscles,
pump it out.
it helps pump it up, and then the valve is a really thin valve, and it just kind of, it's not, you really even call it anything, it just kind of closes and holds it there, and then till the next muscle contraction takes place. So a lot of people who stand and defy gravity and don't move are pooling all of that blood, and so then it has to move to the outside circulation of your legs.
And we lose muscle mass as we get
Exactly.
older.
So that
we lose muscle mass, and that's another reason to stay in shape, Louis.
So it accelerates that process, and then now for really small varicose veins, they can go in, they can sclerose them down, they can inject them with a super high concentration of saline, and that will do that. For the bigger ones, they actually have to tie them off. And then probably use compression stocking. So one of the keys, if you start to develop small ones and you want to arrest the process, you should probably wear a compression stocking at least above the knee, not below the knee, but above the knee. But it's really hard to keep the above the knee portion above the knee. It wants to, gravity wants to pull it down. But exercising is probably the most important. Sedentary lifestyle will promote that. Standing for long periods of time without moving will promote that. And rarely do they get infected, but they can, and that's called a superficial phlebitis, and that's just treated with amoxicillin and heat. But that's way different than a deep vein clot, which could be
very dangerous.
Yeah, very dangerous and could be life-threatening. So if your leg all of a sudden gets a really deep, hard ache and there's swelling deep in the thing and there's no redness on the skin, just some swelling, please see your healthcare provider. That's probably a deep vein thrombosis.
You see a lot of them with prolonged airplane
flights. The older we get, and surgical conditions and cancers. We're going to go to break, and we'll maybe pick that topic up when we come back a little bit.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Louis.